SpaceX went public on Friday, and a question many of you may have is whether it is a buy, sell, or hold. I will answer that question, give you my thoughts on it, but also tell you how to analyze the stock going forward, as I expect there's going to be a lot of volatility and a lot of attention in the next little while. I'll also do my regular market analysis. We'll determine whether there is a risk of a crash on the way, and I'll look at the day trade of the week on CAST. All right, let's get into the question about SpaceX, buy, sell, or hold. We've only got one day of trading history, so we have to begin with the fundamentals. And almost every analyst agrees that the fundamental valuation does not justify the price that it's trading at. In fact, some say it's trading at double what its fundamentals are truly worth. With that said, we have seen many high-profile stocks trade far beyond their fundamental valuation. You could make that argument about Tesla throughout its history. Amazon, another one that never really, jibed with the normal fundamental valuation. What I do think is important is what it comes down to is what do people think? And the best way to know what people think is to look at the patterns on the chart. And we're going to do that next, but we only have one day of trading history, so it's a little bit short-term in nature, obviously, at this point. Now, here's some basic principles about how to read charts. First of all, front side versus back side. See here how the bottoms are rising, and we can draw a trend line across those. So this is the front side. As soon as that trend line is broken, now you're on the back side. And you stay on the back side until the stock can move to new highs. So right now, the stock is on the back side. And again, we've only got one day, not even a full day of trading history. It could change on Monday easily. But for now, the stock is on the backside, and that means it is more likely to go lower than higher. If it breaks that downward trend line that I drew, now you're back to the front side if it can move to new highs. And when that happens, then as a trader, you can start to think about being long the stock. Until then, I would be quite cautious. And you can use that concept, front side versus back side, optimism versus pessimism, whether you're looking at a 1 day, 1 minute chart, or whether in time you start to look at a daily chart and then a weekly chart. Let me just draw out one more little thing here. So generally speaking, stocks will have sideways trading, they'll break to the upside, and they'll go up like this. Now, never perfect. Once they break that trend line backside, and they'll go like this, and then you'll look for the break of the downward trend to be a buyer again. So you want to be a buyer here or on pullbacks, and you want to be a seller when the trend line is broken, and then don't touch the stock until the stock can break the downward trend line from a rising bottom. Keep those principles in mind as you trade not only SpaceX, but really any stock. Those simple concepts will keep you out of bad stocks and help you focus on the good ones. All right, well, let's get into this week's market analysis. And of course, a lot of people are worried that maybe there will be a crash in the market. Seems like valuations are very high. Are there really any signs of that? Well, let's jump into the Stockscores website and pull up some charts. So this is my website, stockscores.com. There's free memberships here. Make sure you sign up for those. Let's begin with the chart of SPY. And what we can see is this week we had some selling pressure. The question is, are we on the front side or the back side? Well, on this very short-term chart, we broke the upward trend line. So in the short term, we're on the back side. However, if we go to a 3-year weekly chart, you can see that the trend is still up. I could draw a trend line cutting across all these bottoms. I could do it here, but because of that sharp sell-off we had in the spring of 2025, it sort of distorts the chart a bit. I would be more inclined to go something like this for a trend line, starting where the trend began, ignoring this little thing because it actually came back above, and using this as your inflection point. Now, what we have right now is a market that's in an upward trend. This is an upward sloping channel, but we're at the top of the channel. And that means there's a good chance we get a little bit of a pullback as people take profits. I don't think it's a screaming sell by any means, but if you go to the short-term chart there, this is now the 2-hour chart going back a month. I draw a line across those bottoms. That line was broken, and now we're on the backside, and the sellers are in control. We need to break this line from a rising bottom to get back into a buyer's market. Not there yet, but that could happen next week. Until then, I would suggest a little bit of caution in the short term, but again, the long-term picture is fine. QQQ, the NASDAQ 100, very similar, broken upward trend line, big gains. Typically what happens when you make a break of trend like this is it goes into a pattern of base building. And if we go into that pattern of base building and then we can launch off of that next, that'll be the next round of strength in the market. I think we're probably going to see sideways at best and perhaps lower. So I think you do want to be fairly defensive with those tech stocks because many of them have just become so extended to the upside. Now looking at the small cap market, it's a very different chart. The small caps have lagged the large caps primarily because interest rates have remained elevated and small cap stocks are more sensitive to interest rates. We still have a market that is in the control of the buyers. We can say that because the bottoms are rising. And we're starting to try to break through this resistance level. In the morning on Friday, we managed to do it, but we pulled back before the end of the day. So it's a healthier looking market, maybe not so overextended, not so risky. Let's move along to the Canadian market now. T.XIU is the symbol. And there you can see the market is an upward trend. We are on the front side of the trend. We are moving to new highs. We've got repeated rising bottoms. So it's generally a solid market right now. If we go to the 1 month chart, the short term, there you can see that it's generally rising from left to right. Perhaps the intensity of the upward move is slowing. The momentum is slowing a little bit, but it's still a market that is in the control of the buyers. Now gold, which has a heavy influence on the Canadian market, has been pretty weak and it's getting a little overextended to the downside now. It got way overextended to the upside when it did this bursting bubble candle back here. And now we've been in this cycle of falling tops. We're oversold because we're far below the trend line. So we may get a little bounce back in the next few days, but the big picture is that we are testing this long-term upward trend line. If I draw a line across those bottoms, we're getting close to that. And I think we'll fall to this line, bounce, and then maybe go sideways for a bit. So I think there could still be a little bit more profit taking. And generally, I would say it's not a good time to be a buyer of gold or gold stocks. But longer term, it's still something to watch. I just wouldn't do it in the short term. All right, let's move along to oil. And of course, oil heavily influenced by what's going on in Iran. And it's a great sort of proxy for what the political situation is, because when oil starts to go down, it implies that the market thinks there's going to be some resolution to the issues between the US and Iran and Israel and Iran. And what we're seeing over the last couple of weeks is this start of a falling top cycle. And if I draw a trend line here, okay, we're well above that, but the steeper one has been broken and we've built a falling top. So that implies that oil prices are likely to go lower in the next couple of weeks. I think there'll be lots of volatility because obviously we've seen a lot of volatility, very headline driven. What's happening over there minute by minute can move the oil market, but it does look like there's some resolution slowly developing and oil prices are starting to recede. Let's take a look at currencies. The US dollar to begin, and it's relatively stable, cycle of rising bottoms. So the buyers are in control in the short term. The big picture, more or less sideways. It hasn't really been a strong or weak currency. It's been sort of stable. Now, we can't say that about Bitcoin. GBTC is one of the Bitcoin ETFs. And there you can see that it's in a downward trend. So we talked about front side, back side. If I make this a 3-year chart, you'll see the moment that it went from front side to back side. There's the upward trend line. We broke the upward trend line there, and we were building falling tops, and we continue to be in that cycle of falling tops. That means the sellers are in control, and therefore buying this is sort of like trying to paddle a canoe up a river. Finally, let's take a look at the bond market. TLT is the symbol for the Treasury Bond ETF. It had a little spike higher last week. That's going to help those small cap stocks. It's still not a strong market. But remember, if this starts to go up, that means interest rates are falling or expected to fall in terms of what the Fed does. And again, we don't see any strong reversal of trend yet, but we are starting to build a little bit of momentum, very short term in nature. We'll keep an eye on that. So my ratings then, neutral on both time frames, or sorry, on the short term for US large cap and NASDAQ, but still long-term bullish. US small cap and Canadian stocks bullish on both time frames as they are reaching to new highs. Gold short-term bearish, long-term neutral. The same for oil, Kind of surprising that oil is now bearish in the short term as momentum appears to be slowing. The US dollar short term bullish and long term neutral. Bitcoin bearish on both time frames, and bonds neutral on both time frames. All right, let's take a look now at the trade of the week. This is an example of a stock that we applied one of my day trading strategies to in the active live service that we offer at Stockscores. And the whole premise here is we always look for stocks behaving abnormally, stocks that surprise with strength. We've got some algorithms that scan the market looking in real time for stocks that are behaving abnormally, because we know that that abnormal activity tends to predict these stocks are going to make these big runs. And you can see that here on CAST around 10:30, 20 after 10 on Friday, the stock went from being boring, as you can see here, to starting to pick up. And that little orange and pink dot there is my action candle indicator. You can see the volume coming in. And so my algorithms on the computer that I'm monitoring the market with and our active live participants are watching from, we just see that buying come in. And then this little blue dot there is a break of the pullback. And that's a good time to jump in. It goes abnormal, it pulls back, it breaks the pullback, and it went for a very nice run, about a double in that point. So from around 90 cents, just under 90 cents, to hitting a short-term high of $1.85. It went a little higher even later in the day. Then another pullback to the trend line. So here's our trend line. So it's not going backside. When it breaks down there, that's not backside because it's still in the upward trend. It's just run away from its trend line, which means it's overbought. It comes back to the trend, bounces. There you see the blue dot again, breaking that pullback, and it goes for another little run up to the highs where it once again got stuck. So these are the kind of trades that you can do by focusing on abnormal activity and keeping some of these simple concepts in mind. Front side, back side, optimism, which is rising bottoms, pessimism, which is falling tops, and abnormal activity is the great clue that stocks are trading with alpha, trading on their own story. If you've enjoyed this video, do me a favor, click the like button, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and as always, trade well.